Hi guys, welcome back. This is Heather with Creativity by Heather BE. Today I am working on a project using the Ink Road stamp of the month. It's an adorable little girl. She's got her laundry basket. I believe her name is Kristen. I need to double check that. But if you go on to the Ink Road stamps, you can sign up for their stamp club of the month. And the past couple months have been this little girl. I'm not sure if every month is that way, but she is just adorable. So with the stamp set, her little laundry basket was actually attached to her. So I decided what I was going to do is I was going to cut that apart and basically make two stamps. And I know, especially for those of you starting out, this seems a little bit scary to cut your stamps apart, and it is perfectly fine. If you want them back together, all you need to do is just put them in a stamping tool such as a Misty or on an acrylic block, and they'll go right back together. So I have my basket separate. The reason I wanted the laundry basket separate is because I was going to use that to create my background. So it's basically creating my own pattern paper using the laundry basket. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually stamp out the little girl. And I wanted to stamp her out, and then I'm actually going to mask her because I wanted some of the laundry baskets to look like they were behind her, so it looked like a true background piece of pattern paper. So I am going to use my Misty for this just to make sure I can get a clean stamp for her. And I am using the Brutus Monroe detail ink. This is in Raven. This was my first time using it. And I have to say, I felt like it worked really well. This was a new stamp, and I didn't condition the stamp at all. I did have to stamp it out twice, which I cut out the second stamping on the video. But it did come out crisp, and I will say when I Copic colored it, there was no bleeding of the lines at all, which was fabulous. Because I have used some inks in the past that claim to be Copic friendly, and they tend to bleed. So I am stamping her out one more time, and this is a full sheet of Post-it, or a piece of Post-it note that is full sticky on the back, excuse me. So I have masking paper, and honestly, this is probably the most cost-efficient, easiest way to do mask. And so I am going to cut her out. And when you're doing a mask, just make sure that you do cut out right along the edge of the stamp, almost completely on that line, just to make sure that you don't have kind of an overlap of white space whenever you're doing your masking and stamping. So this is the laundry basket. Because it was a new stamp, I wanted to stamp it just to make sure that it was stamped out okay before I took it to my card. And I am using the Gina K Copic friendly ink for this. Both of these inks were new, and so I decided to use both of them just to kind of see which ones I liked better. And both of them did great. I am going to Copic color all of these baskets, and they all worked fine. So I'm just randomly putting the basket down in different directions, some of it hanging off the paper. And I do have to apologize. I had my hair up in a bun, and so you will see the little spikies, and I apologize for that. There were some parts of the coloring of the little girl that I actually had to kind of cut out because it was so distracting and all you could see was my hair. So these are the Copic colors I used for the basket. I decided to go with a purple, like lavender color, kind of like an aqua blue, a yellow, and a navy for the basket. And I tried to stick with those colors throughout the card. I was originally going to color her hair brown, and then I decided to do it blonde to kind of go with the flow of the yellow. So I am going to color one basket here, and then I'm going to skip through the rest. I will show you the majority of the coloring for her. It will be tremendously sped up though. So I didn't do any fancy Copic coloring here. I didn't even blend these colors. As you can see, I only have one color of each for these. The image of the basket is tiny, and the details in it, there's a couple towels laying. You can see through the holes in the basket. I probably could have done a little bit of shading for the basket or the purple towel on top, but I decided just to keep it simple. And I am not the best at my blending. I'm getting better, and I will say practice, 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 but it's still something. So doing the smaller images and kind of trying to blend through those sometimes will help a little bit. I do some slight blending when I get to the little girl as far as her shirt, definitely her hair. So you can see I've totally colored all of the little baskets and removed the masking, and so I got the effect I wanted. It looks like there's some laundry baskets behind her. So as I said before, I decided to use yellows for her hair to make her hair blonde, just to kind of keep it with the color scheme I had going on. And there you can see my hair poking out in the corner. Said I apologize for that. Didn't even think about my head getting in the way. You know, when you're making a card, you're just focused on what you're doing. And a lot of times I forget that the camera's even there. And so I didn't want to scrap the whole video because I love the stamp and the little girl, and I wanted to introduce you to her. If you're not familiar with this ink road stamp of the month, it's very inexpensive. I think it's $12, I think, for the stamp. And I do believe that once it's been released as a stamp set, I believe that then Lara puts it in the shop for you to purchase later on, possibly the next month, because I did purchase separately the May little girl, and she actually, she was adorable. She was taking pictures. So she had her cute little skirt and stuff. This stamp set also had some fabulous sentiments with it. The sentiment that I choose, which you'll see here in a moment, was something about having so much laundry. There are more people living in my house than I think, and I thought that was really appropriate with all of the baskets kind of surrounding her. So I completed her hair, and I do have all of the colors that I used listed below, also on my blog. You can find all the Copic colors that I used. And I'm moving on to her skin. I actually, once I got the card finished and I started taking pictures of it, there was some shading up underneath her hairline that I was not real crazy about. I felt like it was a little too dark for the rest of her skin tone. So I did kind of even that out a little bit, as you'll see in the final pictures. But I used the same colors. I just kind of went back in and used more of that shading color out. So I did her shirt in a lilac color, and I did have to cut some of that out because my hair was in the way. So I used just a really light lilac. It was a lighter shade than what the color was I used for the baskets, and then I gave her some little denim shorts. If you are practicing doing skin tones, this is a really great stamp to use because she has thin arms and legs. She's got a pretty full face, a small neck, so it's easy to kind of practice and work on your skin tones. If you're new at that, you're just getting used to it. So I decided to do her towel the same color that I had used for the towel in the basket. So it looked like she was folding one of the towels from the basket. And then for the stripes on the towels, I went in and used the same colors. So one of the cool things about this stamp is when it was designed, Lara didn't put the lips on her. There were, I think, 4 or 5 lips that you get to choose from. So I used the Hero Art Strawberry ink and chose the little lips that I wanted and stamped those on, which I thought was a really cool little addition to the stamp set. So I wanted to ground her, and so I used C1 and C2 to kind of give her a little shadowing so it didn't look like she was floating among the baskets. Very easy, quick trick to just ground your characters, whatever your image is. And I decided to stamp out the sentiment in Versamark ink. You can see there's a sentiment on the top. I actually used a Lawn Fawn Blue Jay ink at first, and I just didn't like the way it came out, so I decided to switch it. I used a Lawn Fawn circle die, very simple, put it up in the corner. I did use some fun foam to give it some dimension, and I put it on a Lawn Fawn Sugar Plum, I believe, is the cardstock, and then I did go in and add some Aqua Shimmer pen to the baskets, and that's my finished card. Very simple. Love, love, love this set. If you didn't get it this time around, definitely go in and sign up, and so you can get next month's. And definitely check out the Ink Road. I will have a code down below where if you've never ordered from the Ink Road, you will get 50% off your first order, which is awesome. Go check out. Lara does have a new release coming out soon as well that you can pre-order right now. So thanks for watching and have a great day.